You take Flava Flav and put Flava Flav in the club of the 100 most beautiful women in the world, and he wants to come out with a date. He just got to go speak to everybody, right? It's just the average.
Sales. That's how you get the greens in your business, man.
Today we're going to talk about law of averages, right? And this is one of those teachings that, to be quite frank with you, is one of the most important teachings for you to understand. I teach this all the time, there's a lot of people that will have me come speak from time to time. And if there's anything that I'm going to teach them before I teach them anything else, is I'm going to teach them to understand the law of averages. I know I talked to you guys about it last time, and I'm going to drive that point to you guys a little bit more today and kind of give you guys a little bit more insights of what to expect when you think about the law of averages. So law of averages. Law of averages is a basic law, just like anything else. And the thing that I love about laws is laws are not something that you have to necessarily believe in. It is what it is. It is a law that happens whether or not you like it or not. Right. And that's what I love about laws, right? Whatever you sow, you're going to reap, or whether or not you like it or not. The law of gravity, right? If you jump off the bridge, you're going to go down whether or not you believe it or not. And it's just one of those things that you have to understand. And one of the other laws is the law of averages, right? Everything has its equal equivalent. Everything has its average to it. Nothing goes one way all the time. There's always an average to something, right? To everything, actually. We kind of have a thing that we say in sales with law of averages, that the more no's lead me to my yes, right? Something that we always say, the more no's lead me to my yes, meaning that I will get the same, if I get a couple of no's, then eventually I'm going to get my what? Yes. The averages are something that you guys can understand through many different scenarios in life. Of course, I used to give examples all the time where, if you take a coin and you flip a coin, there's heads and there's tails. So there's a 50% chance that if I flip the coin, it's going to go heads or tails. It's not something that you have to, analyze and process. It's not something that you have to think about. That's something you have to, it's just what the nature of the coin is. So if the game was the first person to get 10 heads, will win. And let's say Aaliyah got 4 or 5 tails already, and I quit. You guys will look at me like I'm going crazy, because you'll say, hey, John, just continue flipping. There's still a chance that you might win. It's the same thing when you think about sales, right? When you process the sales aspect, a lot of you guys are quitting way too soon. You're quitting way too soon because you just don't really know what your averages are, and what you need, right? So, if I close my eyes and cross the street back and forth, then what will happen to me eventually? I might make it on the other side one day. I might make it on the other side another day. I might make it on the side the other day. But guess what will happen one day? I will eventually get hit by a car. All right. It's just the average, right? You take Flava Flav and put Flava Flav in the club of the 100 most beautiful women in the world, and he wants to come out with a date. He just got to go speak to everybody, right? It's just the average. It's kind of like what I told you guys about those people that do those social experiments, right? They want to get people to give them hugs and give them money or give them kisses or anything like that. And what they do is they speak to everybody. You guys heard me say this last time when I said beggars in New York make more money than the average American. You guys remember me saying this? Because all they do is they speak to every single person, asking them for a quarter. Right. And while you might walk past them and while you might say, no, guess what? They literally just continue asking the very next person. If you could understand sales from that perspective, if you could understand sales like a beggar that's asking for a quarter, you'll be very successful. The level of diligence that it takes to be looked at as less than human by a lot of people, and still have the wherewithal to go ask the very next person behind them for another quarter and for a dollar. And they do that throughout the day. And guess what happens? Some say no, some don't even look. But every single day, they will have people in droves that will give them quarters and dollars and, maybe even, a coffee or maybe even a sandwich, right? This is happening every day. Not some days, every day. Not some days, guys. It's happening every day. If they speak throughout the day and you do the math, they probably can equate to $30 an hour if they're really speaking to everybody, right? So I got a deck of cards here, right? And we're gonna go through some kind of lessons when it comes on to the deck of cards, because there's so many teachings that you can do in understanding the law of averages when it comes on to sales. So deck of cards. This is a 52 card deck. 52 card deck, and I teach this all the time. In 52 cards, how many aces are in this deck?
Four.
Right? And like I say all the time, we can bet everything in our bank account that if this is a brand new deck of cards, if it's a regular deck, that there will be 4 aces in here, correct? It's not something that I need to believe in. It's not something that I need to analyze, not something I need to figure out if I'm motivated and is this for me or any variance like that. It is basic math. If I literally have a 52 card deck and I flip these cards, I don't know where the aces are. Consider aces yeses. You have no idea where your yeses are, but you know that you have at least 4 yeses in here. But let's think about something a little deeper. If you have 4 yeses in here, then that means how many no's do you have? You also have 48 no's. That means based on the average from a deck of cards, you literally are saying, okay, in order for me to average 4 sales, I need to have 48 no's. I need to speak to 52 people to get 48 no's so that I can get 4 yeses. That's how you need to analyze it from the sales aspect, right? So you're not intimidated or nervous or scared when somebody tells you no, or tells you they're going to get back to you, or tells you they're going to follow up with you and tell you that they need to go wait for this. And you're not scared because all you're doing is doing what? Flipping the cards. Now, the goal for this year is to make sure that we do 100 plus tax returns, right? So let's think about it from just a mathematical standpoint. We have the time that is not on our sides. We have to move now, right now, right? So when you think about this, the basic scenarios of this 52 cards is also going to be based on my pace of getting through as many people as I possibly can so that I can know and get to my averages as fast as possible. Because if I literally do this, what will happen is, even though I have all the skill set, and even though I have all the work, and even though I know how to sell this thing, I know how to get people to do taxes, I'm not going to have enough time to get through the 52 cards. So literally, when you watch other people that are doing more sales than you, it's very basic, guys. They're probably not better than you. Some of them probably are a little bit better than you in knowing how to gather people, but majority of them are not. What majority of them are doing is they're moving the cards a lot more what? A lot more faster than you. This is something that I literally teach sales agents when it comes on to pace, right? Because if I'm doing this, and Aaliyah's doing this, who's winning? Aaliyah's winning. Not because Aaliyah's better. I probably have a better pitch. But Aaliyah is seeing more people. And remember, more people, more no's would eventually lead to my what? Yes. So she's getting to the 48 no's a lot more faster than I am. By the time the tax season's done, I only did half the deck. I didn't get my 4 yeses. Oh, I don't know if this is for me. What do you mean you don't know if this is for you? Is there 4 aces in a 52 card deck? So is it based on skill set? No, it's not skill set here. It's not skill set when it comes on to basic averages, right? All I need to do is get the motivation to flip the cards as humanly fast as possible and go through them. Now, here was another thing that I love about the deck of cards, right? The deck of cards, when it comes on to the averages, and this is why we talked about when I said work your territory correctly, right? We have absolutely no idea at all who is going to say what, yes or no, right? This is the reason why it's very important for us to speak to everybody, because we don't know where our what aces are coming from. So this is right here is when you guys are looking at me flipping these cards and you, oh, we have 1 ace. Oh, so this is literally happening in the beginning of the day. Let's go, right? We have no idea where the aces are coming from. But one thing that we know is we have to do what? Continue flipping. Now, why am I doing this part right here? I'm doing this part because I'm not prejudging the cards. I'm not prejudging the customers. I'm not analyzing anything. All I'm doing is doing what? Flipping. Notice that we went through a drought just now before we got to the next ace. Notice that I went through literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 no's before I got to my next yes. You guys got the ace, the yes, in the first couple of cards. And then you went on a drought. And then it seems like you couldn't get another person to do the taxes. So guess what you started doing? You started getting demotivated. You started second guessing yourself. You started now doubting if you're going to actually hit your numbers. And literally, you just got to continue flipping, because there's 3 types of days. And I kind of want you guys to understand this, right? There's 3 types of days that we normally work on a day-to-day basis. And this is how we kind of analyze our day. We say that there is a fast morning, slow evening. There's a slow morning, fast evening, and there is a consistent day. What do I mean by that? Well, what would be considered a fast morning, slow evening? A fast morning, slow evening is when I continue flipping the cards, speak to the next couple of customers, and then all of a sudden all my aces are in the beginning of the deck. This will be considered, it's happening. Like the first couple of customers I spoke to is right off the bat. And then it slows down a little bit towards the end. Or I have a slow morning where I'm speaking to my first couple of customers and I'm not getting any traction just as yet. But then it picks up down the line. And then you have that consistent day. So how do I know what type of day I'm going to have? Very basic question, guys. How would I know what type of day I'm going to have? Do you know off the bat? Do anybody know what day you're going to have today? You're going to go out there, you're going to do sales today, you're going to go out there and speak to customers. Do anybody have any idea if you're going to get the customers in the first part of the day, second part of the day, half part? Do anybody know? Anybody can know? No? Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. The only way you know is by doing what?
If you try.
Flipping the cards. So this is something that I've learned, and this is why I became so good at sales, is because I started realizing that everything when it comes on to sales is based on the average. And no matter how, and let me encourage some of you guys that's new, no matter how new you are, no matter, this could be your first tax season. Is this anybody's first tax season? Is anybody first time? No? Yep. Okay, cool. It could be your first tax season and you can dominate even by not knowing what Aaliyah knows. By just knowing your averages. Because even the person that's brand new, that's not as skilled, also have an average. Right? So maybe for Aaliyah, every 10 people that she speaks to, she gets a close. But because of you, Esther, you're probably brand new. So it might be every 25 people that you speak to, you get a close. Oh, that's what it is today. For you, it's 25. For Aaliyah, it's 10. But it's only 10 because Aaliyah knows more. It's a little bit more skilled in this. But nevertheless, you have to still find the motivation to go through the 25 no's or 24 no's as fast as humanly possible so that you can get what? The one yes. Because at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that Aaliyah is going to be as motivated every single day to get those 10 customers. But you can find that motivation every day to go through your 25. And then as we now move through the trainings this week, when we start to know what to say to customers, how to sharpen the skills, you now with skill set increase will lower your averages to around what? Maybe 20 to everyone, 15 to everyone. This is the reason why I want every single one of you guys as of today to track all your progress. Everything that you are doing, you have to, at the end of the day, track the progress, right? So we kind of did this literally with Aaliyah the other day. And, I was telling Aaliyah that this is one of those things that I kind of, let's say like I was a brand new person. I'm a brand new person. Right? And man, this is such a good teaching. I don't even have time for this. But one of the things that I was, that really changed my my life. And it so happens that my boy is here. I was talking to his dad, which is like my Cleveland pops. And I was going through a little rut in business, and I wasn't really getting enough money and sales and stuff like that. And he was like, what's going on? And then I was like, I don't know, man. I was like, how do you find the motivation to get up and continue going? And then he was like, well, so like how many doors do you need to knock to get your results? So I was like, well, normally we knock 100 doors, blah blah blah. And then he said a line that changed everything. It's such a simple line. But it changed my whole life. He said, if you gotta knock 100 doors to take care of your family, it's not a motivation thing at that point. You just have to knock 100 doors. So why do I say that to you? Because once you know your averages, once you know the amount of activity that you need to do to get the sale, it's not a motivation thing. If you really have a desire to take care of whoever you want to take care of, get whatever goal you want to go, you just got to go to those 25 customers, Esther. And you got to go through it and get your what? Get the no's so you can get your yes. It just got to get done, period, right? Also, here goes another thing that I've learned. Another thing I learned is if I just do the averages of what winners do, I'm going to get the result. Because here goes an equation that we all know. And this is how I teach my sales agents. 1 + 1 = 2 every time. Every time, no matter what country. I was just in Dubai just a couple of weeks ago. And guess what? 1 + 1 was 2 over there also. Right? So it's not something that you have to believe in. It's just math. Right? So if Aaliyah told me that she handed out, how much was it, Aaliyah? 2,000 flyers, right? To get around 20, 30 customers, right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So look at that equation right there, right? That's a mathematical equation that everybody can write down. That right there is Aaliyah's law of average when it comes on to handing out flyers. For every 2,000 flyers that she handed out, it equated to 20 clients. So if I now want 20 clients, I know at least I should go out there and pass out how much? 2,000 flyers. Now, if I want, now it might be a little bit more for some, it might 2,300, 24, but this is based on her numbers that she sat down and analyzed how many flyers and what came from the flyers, right? So I'm a brand new person. I now say, okay, I want that same level of result. Tell me exactly how you did it. Tell me exactly what you did. Okay, you did door flyers, like how you did it. And then now I do the exact same thing. I do the exact same thing. And now I have now my what? My average, right? She did ads last year, right? She did ads. The ads also equated to a certain amount of people, right? She had Instagram posts. She had a lot of things that she did and that she calculated to get a result. So if I want 40 clients from handing out flyers, then what do I need to do? Anybody want to take the lucky guess on this? I need to hand out 4,000 flyers. Does that make sense to you guys? Based on that equation, 4,000 flyers got to be handed out to do 40. So this is where I have to have my desire to know if I'm really about that life. Because if I'm really about that life, then I'm really going to beat everybody here. I'll beat everybody here. I'll beat everybody here because I'm going to pass out 2,000 flyers as humanly fast as possible. While everybody is smart, while everybody is bougie, to me, it's not about a bougie or smart thing. It's about activity. Activity alone will get me the results. I would literally say, okay, cool. This is the equation that you went through to get a result. There's a reason why the Chinese restaurant always hands out the flyers, the menus. There's a reason why the Domino's Pizza Hut, they always hand out their flyers. They obviously have an equation that makes sense to them on the certain amount of flyers is going to equal a certain amount of revenue in sales. If I know those equations, I just literally what? Do it. Now, here was a few things that I want you guys to understand also when it comes on to this. I'm moving through this fast. I hope you guys are getting this and taking some notes on this. So 52 cards, right? 52 cards. I told you guys that's 4 aces in here, right? But here's a few things that I want you guys to analyze when it comes on to the type of customers that you are going to get through. We already know that you are going to get 48 no's in a 52 card deck. We know this, right? So, and I told you guys, don't be frazzled. Don't be scared. Don't be intimidated. And don't think that you're doing something wrong. And now start losing your PMA like, I might be doing something wrong. No, flip the cards, right? But here's the thing. There's something different about some of these cards, right? So you have those regular cards and then you have these face cards, right? Like the aces, the queens, the jokers, Jack, Queen, King, Ace, and Joker. And I'm going to talk about these so you guys can remember this, real quick. This is going to help you guys know what to do because some of those no's, and we're going to go over this week as we go over rebuttals, right? Some of those no's you can convert to what? To yeses, right? So let's go over this real quick, right? These face cards, very unique face cards. These are face cards that you will always get when you do sales. You will always run into different types of customers, right? So let's talk about them. Let's talk about the Jack. The Jack is considered a jerk. The Jack is considered a jerk. This is considered somebody that is just straight up like a Jack. You understand what I'm saying? Right? That's what this is, right? So when I encounter a customer like this, one of the things I have to do with this type of customer is I got to throw a lot of icebreakers with this customer. This customer, I need to throw icebreakers because combating a Jack will be hostility, and it makes no sense to be hostile with a Jack. Right? Queens. Let's go over queen. A queen is a snob. This person right here think they too good to work with you. This person right here think they bougie. They looking like, it's like, working with you, bougie customers. So what do you do with a bougie customers? You make them feel like they can't get it with you. Like they make you feel like, you have to take something away from them. You have to make them impulse to ask you questions. And we're going to talk about that. We call sense of loss, right? It's one of the terms that we're going to go over probably tomorrow, right? The sense of loss. How do we How do we make them curious? Because if they're bougie, but then now they feel like they're missing out by not working with you, they're curious now, right? Kings. Kings are what? Know-it-alls, right? These are customers that what? Know it all. They know it all, right? They know everything, right? So what do you do with a king? With a know-it-all, you have to stroke their ego, right? Because if a king know-it-all, then obviously I can't like try to also combat a know-it-all, because then what they're gonna do? They're gonna talk to me for days about what they know. So I gotta compliment them, like, you know what? There's a lot of people in this area that don't know this type of stuff. I'm actually impressed. In fact, I should work for you. Now I'm just playing with you, man. But listen, and then so this is what a know-it-all. Of course, we have what? We have our impulsive customer. This is the easy one, right? This is the easy one. This is the one that we all really want. But guess what? You can also lose with an ace. Why? Because an ace is already impulse to buy from you. They're already impulse to do the business with you, but you are prolonging the process. So what do you do with an impulsive? You kiss them. Keep it short and simple. Right? You keep it short and simple. And then you have the joker. The joker is a window shopper. Window shopper, mad at me. Right? So this is a window shopper, right? And this is a person that literally wastes your time. They talk to you and talk to you and talk to you and talk to you, and they're still not signing up. They're still not doing this. They're still not. So what do you do with a joker? You do urgency. Time is money, money is time. I got to do so many tax returns. Actually, Miss Jones up the block has got her pay stubs out right now waiting for me. I got to go. Right? So literally in the cards, right? If you're literally in the deck of cards, you have to understand that as you are flipping the cards, you are going to go through so many different customers every single day. You should not be surprised when you go through those type of customers, right? So literally you flip. Oh, the first customer I spoke to was a what? Was a know-it-all. This person, I got to stroke their ego and try to see if I can do their taxes. Then I got to flip again. Oh, I got a regular no. Oh, boom, I got a jerk. Somebody cursed me out. And then now you want to give up. Aaliyah, I don't know about this coming outside and handing out flyers, man, because, they got some jerks out there. And Leah's like, I told you that you're going to get 4 of the jerks today. You're getting 4. You complaining over the first one. You got 3 more coming today. This is a good teacher right here, guys. You got 3 more. So stop complaining and go find another 3 jerks. Because in order for you to get your 4 yeses, you have to go through 4 jerks. So I flip again. I got a regular no. Oh, got my yes. Boom, I did my taxes. Oh, I got another jerk right after that. You see that right there? You guys have to get to that point where you are no longer analyzing and judging your attitude based on the customers. You have to start looking at every single customer as another card in the deck. I have absolutely no idea where my yeses are, but I have to go through them. And when I bump into one of those random customers like a snob, I know what I need to do with a snob. Now, what we'll learn this week as I'm starting to teach you guys different sales principles and the pitch. We're going to go through pitch. We're going to go through how to create impulse. We're going to go through what to do with icebreakers, what to do when a customer says this. We're going to go through when a customer says no and I'm not interested or I got somebody else. This is what you say. We're going to go through all that, right? But the beautiful thing that I love about sales is the conversions or ratios that I can do on some of these face cards. That means while you, based on basic math, can get at least, how many yeses at least you can get in the 52 card deck? Basic math. 4, right? 4 yeses. Me, because I'm a little bit more skilled, I might be able to pull off 7 yeses in this 52 card deck. So my skill set might be, well, honestly, I got like 7, 8 yeses. And you're like, 7, 8 yeses? Yep, because I converted a jack over to do taxes. I actually converted one of the kings also to do taxes. The regular face cards, it's just people I can't do nothing with. It's just a part of the average, right? They didn't call me back, or there's nothing I can say to this one, right? I mean, it is what it is, right? But some of those people I converted, not all of them, of course, because it's law of averages, right? I'm not converting every single one, but I know that at least you on a bare minimum can get 4. So if you don't get 4, I know you didn't work hard enough today. That is what I am looking at if you guys want to do 100 plus tax returns this season. Don't talk to me about anything else but how much activity did you actually put in? Because I just told you, based on no skill set, just flipping the cards and asking the customers to do their taxes, you could at least get 4 in a 52 card deck. And I said that if you improve your skill set, you might take the 4 and turn it to an 8. Like Aaliyah. Aaliyah might take this 52 card deck and turn this 52 card deck into 8 to 9 yeses. But that's based on sharpening skill set, like you guys are doing now, listening to all these different trainings, right? But on a bare minimum, there's 4. So if you don't, and let's say 4 yeses in this deck is equivalent to 100 tax returns. If you don't got 100 tax returns, then you did not flip all the cards. It's very basic in my head. So let's do a basic math. We have no idea right now what the activity levels are, right? But we know that in order for us to get 100 tax returns done this tax season, we probably have to speak to how many people? Let's take a guess. Is it 100 people? You think 150 people? You think 200 people? No, you probably got to speak to a lot of people, correct? You probably got to speak to a lot of people. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, John, how do I know how many people I need to speak to? Very good question, actually. How do you know that? You can all learn that as of today. How? Very simple. If I go out there and I work 6 hours on this today, right? And I hand out X amount of flyers and I speak to X amount of people and I got 1 tax return done today. Boom, that's the equation. Write that equation down. Go back tomorrow and do that equation again. Try to double that equation tomorrow and see if you get 2. So let's say hypothetically, it was 100 to get 1. This is all hypothetical, right? 100 to get 1. Cool. I'm going to see if it's possible for me to do 200 to get 2. If it's 10 to get 1, I spoke to 10 people. I spoke to them, right? So I handed out 100 flyers. I spoke to 10 people. I got 1. So let me hand out 200 flyers. I might speak to 20 people and I might get 2. That means if I need to get, based on that math, if I need to get 100, then I need to speak to how many people? 1,000 people. You see that right there? You see what we just did right there? It's not something that you have to really, you can scale and get anything that you want in terms of this sales world if you just understand your averages and understand your levels of activity. Anything. Let me tell you again, just in case you need to hear it one more time. You can get any sale you want this year, any amount, if you just understand the activity levels that you did to get 1. Because if you're taking notes, it's a great thing to write down. If you can do 1, you can do 100. You started a business and you got one customer that is not your mom and dad. You got one customer that you have no idea who that person was to do business with you. If you can do 1, you can do 1,000. You know that, right? If you can do one person that did not know who you were and they ended up doing business with you, means that you can go out and find 100 more people like that. Because whatever you did to get that one person, I would do that 10 times more. That's what we call, guys, the law of averages. It's a mathematical equation that you guys need to understand in order for you to get the results that you want to get. Everything else goes into skill set. But if you lose everything else, let's say you don't have all the skills, what you need is to understand what your averages are. Those are the things that will keep you motivated. Those are the things that will get you going. Those are the things that will keep you grounded. And those are the things that will help you dominate in this tax season. Since I could teach law of averages for days, all right? So there's so much I can go, but I have 45 minutes to give you guys this. I want you guys, like I said, as of today, to begin to track all your progress, all right? Because we're going to be starting to talk about that. So, whenever somebody gets, one tax return done, one of the questions I will ask is, what are the activity levels that you did to get that one? You need to know that, because your job is to be a pro, right? What did you do to get that one? And is there a way that you can increase the activity levels to get that one faster? Right. And it goes back to that pace that we talked about. Aaliyah's, I'm doing this and Aaliyah's doing this. So this is going to beat this every single day. So my job is, once you get that one equation, I need to get you like this now. Get through this as fast as humanly possibly can and make this happen. So start tracking your progress. Start tracking every single thing that you do, every phone call you make sure you take notes, be a pro. This week, we're going to go over the pitch. We're going to start going over what to say to customers, what to do when customers don't want to work with you. We're going to go over all that, and we're going to compound it. And then eventually we're going to get to a point where we're going to start practice pitching with each other. All right. So guys, thank you guys for your time. Let's make it happen. Let's have a beautiful day today, guys.
John, thank you. Guys, put some fire in the chat. That was amazing.